full. Rebound Durant. Incredible opportunity. Durant for three. It's good. Kevin Durant from downtown. And Golden State takes the lead. 6-0.
It is that time of the week again. Welcome to the 18th DisputeSports Podcast Show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm your host, Kyle Neumann, running the show solo today as Rhett Hensley had early work obligations after being gone all week on vacation, soaking up the sun in Vegas and San Diego. Today, I will talk NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals as they near the end and discuss the Belmont Stakes and French Open. Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. Summer is almost here, and that always means that some big sport seasons are about to wrap up, that being the NBA and NHL. I want to talk about the results of a Facebook poll that I ran last week, asking people who they think will win the 2017 NBA championship. And the results are in. Heavily favored are the Golden State Warriors, with 44 people picking the Warriors to win the series against the 26 people that picked the Cavs to win the series. And most people either picked the Cavs in 6 or the Warriors in 6. So far, it has been all Warriors. Again, heading into these finals, LeBron, only the 7th player in NBA history to make it to 7 straight finals, was having one of his best playoffs of his career. And I'm afraid the mighty Warriors are just too much for these Cleveland Cavaliers. 2 games to recap since last week's show. In Game 2, last Sunday, Golden State won at home 132 to 113. Statistics-wise, the Warriors, you would not have thought that they would have won by 19 when you end up looking at some of the team stats. The biggest one being Golden State turned the ball over 20 times in Game 2 compared to the Cavaliers' 9. The big difference was the Warriors shot 42% from three-point range, hitting 18 threes, compared to the Cavaliers shooting almost 28% and only hitting 8 threes. Major difference there. Also, the Warriors out-rebounded the Cavs 59 to 45. It's unbelievable to me that when you look at the fact that the Cavs had 11 less turnovers and they had 20 more points in the paint than the Warriors, they still end up losing by 19 points. That's been the story of this series. The Golden State Warriors are just a better team with more depth. It's proving to be a brilliant move from Golden State to get Kevin Durant from the Warriors last year. He has made the difference in this series. Most people calling Durant the best player in the world over LeBron James. When you look at the box score from Game 2, the big three for the Cavs had a really good game. Kyrie Irving struggled a bit. He had 19 points on 8 of 23 shooting. LeBron had 29 points, 14 assists, and 11 rebounds. Nice triple-double stat line for him there. Kevin Love went 12 for 23 shooting, had 27 points himself, and 7 rebounds. So, the big three, pretty good game. Outside of that, they are getting no help. 8 points from Tristan Thompson, 0 points from J.R. Smith. Kyle Korver, the leading scorer off the bench for the Cavs with 8 points. Outside of that, Richard Jefferson with 7, Darren Williams with 5. That's just not going to get it done. When you look at the stat line for the Warriors, Kevin Durant, 33 points on 13 of 22 shooting, had 13 rebounds, 6 assists. Nice double-double for Durant there. Chef Curry, 32 points, 7 of 17 from the field, 4 3-pointers, made all of his free throws, 14 for 14 from the line. In fact, he hasn't missed a free throw in this series. He's on a tear. He had 11 assists and 10 rebounds. Steph Curry had a triple-double, the point guard. Incredible. Klay Thompson finally got back into his groove. Went 8 for 12 from the field, 4 3-pointers, had 22 points, 7 rebounds. Draymond Green, 12 points. Zaza Pachulia was in the starting lineup, and he finished with 2 points. But they didn't need him or any of the supporting cast because the Warriors' Big Four dominated. And they answered every time the Cavaliers tried to keep it close or tried to make a run. They would not go away. They shoot lights out. Off the bench, Sean Livingston, Ian Clark had 10 points each to lead to more bench production than the Cavaliers had. And that's unacceptable for the Cavs. They will not be able to win a game in this series if that continues in Game 4. Let's look at Game 3. Wednesday night, Golden State got the win in Cleveland, 118-113 to take a 3-0 series lead on the brink here with Game 4 tonight back in Cleveland where the Warriors can win their second championship in 3 years against this Cavs team and do it in Cleveland. But Wednesday night, 5-point victory for the Warriors. Excellent game this was. For the Cavaliers, LeBron James had another monster game, 39 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, almost another triple-double. Kyrie Irving, 38 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Kevin Love struggled, 1 for 9 shooting, 9 points. Did have 13 rebounds and 6 steals. And J.R. Smith finally showed up, had 16 points on 5 for 10 shooting with all 5 of his field goals being 3-pointers. But the bench, again, outside of Kyle Korver, the Cavs got nothing. 8 points for Korver. And then Iman Shumpert had 2. Jefferson 1. That was it. Darren Williams did not play. Channing Frye did not play. They definitely could have used those contributing players. There was not enough juice from this Cavaliers team, even at home where there was a lot of juice in the atmosphere. The Cavaliers are just getting outplayed by a better and deeper team. Kevin Durant led the Warriors in Game 3 with 31 points on 10 of 18 shooting. Had 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Steph Curry, 26 points. Klay Thompson, 30 points, his best game of the series. Draymond Green had 8. And for the bench, again, David West, Andre Iguodala leading the bench with 7 points each. They didn't need bench contribution. These starters are doing work. If the Cavaliers don't show up in Game 4, putting on an absolute clink from beyond the arc and getting LeBron some more help, this series is over in 4. It is over tonight, if that is the case. You look at the team stats from Game 3. Warriors out-rebounded the Cavs by 7. Both teams shot in the mid-40s from the field. 16 three-pointers for the Warriors, 12 for the Cavs. 29 assists for the Warriors, 17 for the Cavs. Cavs had 9 steals compared to the Warriors' 8. 18 turnovers by the Warriors compared to the 12 for the Cavs. Cavs outscored the Warriors in the paint 46-38. So the Cavs have had their opportunities. They blew a 5-point lead with less than a minute to go. What happened? LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, too much dancing around, too many shots that were contested, very poor possessions for the Cavaliers down the stretch, and the Warriors, I tell you what, just wanted it more. Big 3 from Klay Thompson. And then Kevin Durant putting the dagger in the Cavaliers, nailing a 25-footer right in LeBron James' eye hole after they were down by 2. That put them up by 1, and that was the difference. Because the defense was great down the stretch from Golden State. The Cavaliers' defense, not so much, like it's been all series. Game 4, tonight in Cleveland. Let's see if the Cavs can force a Game 5 back in Golden State. No team has ever come back down 3-0. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't believe it will happen with what I have seen from this Cleveland team. I picked the Warriors in 7. I don't see it. I think it's over tonight in Cleveland. Steve Kerr returned to the Warriors sideline for Game 2 after missing almost the whole playoffs with a back injury. It was great to see Steve Kerr back, and the troops really rally around Kerr as the head coach. It's now time to move on to the NHL playoffs and the Stanley Cup Finals. The Penguins lead the series 3-2 after getting a huge Game 5 win in front of their home fans last night in dominating fashion, 6-0 over the Predators. Now on the brink, the Penguins are to winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. That hasn't happened since 1998. 19 years since the last team has won back-to-back titles. That was the Detroit Red Wings in 1997 and 1998. But the home teams have dominated in this series. Predators, Game 6 on Sunday back in Nashville, can try and force a Game 7. But before we get into Game 5, let's recap Games 3 and 4 from last week's show. The Predators were down 2-0. Pekka Rinne was getting eaten alive by Pittsburgh. Now Nashville got to go back home in front of their rowdy crowd where they had only lost one game all of the playoffs on Saturday, and Rinne did what Rinne does at home, rally behind the rowdy Nashville crowd, and the Predators dominated the Penguins 5-1 to get back into the series. Excellent game it was in Game 3 for Nashville. They got shots on goal. They got to the net, and that was the biggest difference. The lone goal in the game for the Penguins came from Jake Gensel, the rookie who is just on a tear for this Penguins team. Man, has he looked sharp. But after that first goal in the first period from the Penguins, in the second, the Predators caught fire. Roman Josi scored to tie it up. Then Frederick Gaudreau, who has played phenomenal this playoffs, the rookie who finally got his chance, gave Nashville the lead 2-1. James Neal then extends the lead for the Predators 3-1. Heading into the third period, the Predators just finished off the Penguins, who were just too much for them at home. Craig Smith scored the fourth goal, and Matthias Ekholm scored the fifth and final goal for the Predators. Pekka Rinne had a great game back at home, only giving up one goal. He made 27 saves, and that was the difference in Game 3. In Game 4, it was much of the same for the Predators. On Monday night, in the honky-tonk city, Nashville tied the series up at 2 apiece after getting the win 4-1 over the Penguins. Again, Pekka Rinne was phenomenal, made 23 saves. The Predators' offense cooking. Frederick Gaudreau scored his third goal of the Stanley Cup final and his second consecutive game-winning goal. It came in the second period to put the Predators up 2-1, and they did not look back from there. Victor Arvidsson added the third goal late in the second, and then with the icing on the cake, Philip Forsberg put the Predators up 4-1 in the third, and that was all she wrote. Sidney Crosby scored the lone goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first period. Murray, the goalie for Pittsburgh, was eaten alive. Really, it's been all about the home team in this series. That's the difference. The goalies that have been the road team have not played well, but the home team goalies have played phenomenal. Game 6 will be Sunday night back in Nashville. Again, the home team, the rowdy crowd in Pittsburgh, was the biggest difference in Game 5 last night, where the Penguins have taken a 3-2 series lead. They're on the brink. Won 6-0. Just an awful game for the defense of the Predators, especially Rinne. And it came down to more shots early for the Penguins and bad goaltending from the Predators. Murray stopped all 24 shots he faced. Pekka Rinne was pulled into the second period after giving up 3 goals. Just was not seeing the puck whatsoever. So in for the Predators came Jose Saros, who, by the end of the game, ended up giving up 3 goals himself. 2 of them came very quick into the second period, and the third one was toward the end of the second, and it was over. I mean, this was just a dominating game for the Pittsburgh Penguins, who just, again, got all of the good looks in this game because the Predators had the same amount of shots on goal at 24. It was not nearly enough. Only 2 power plays for the Predators compared to the 6 for the Penguins. Just the Predators just looked off their game. They looked intimidated by the crowd. They looked tired from Game 4 after tying the series up. I don't know if they felt the pressure of being close to winning their first Stanley Cup, really wanting to bring it back home to close it out in Game 6 in front of the home fans, but clearly too much looking ahead because the Penguins came ready to play, and the defending Stanley Cup champions are now on the brink of winning their second straight Stanley Cup final. Sid the Kid Crosby had 3 points in Game 5, looked phenomenal. And so again, Game 6 will be Sunday night in Nashville as the Predators try and force a Game 7, bringing it back to Pittsburgh. We shall see. It is now time for No Disputing. My fact for today's show: Peyton Manning, Colt legend, one of my favorite players of all time in the NFL, has some serious stats. And the one I will mention for this No Disputing is only 10 other quarterbacks in NFL history have thrown half as many touchdown passes as Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning leads the all-time touchdown category by a wide margin, as him and Brett Favre in first and second place are both retired. Peyton Manning, 539 touchdown passes. Brett Favre, 508. The next closest, Drew Brees with 465, still playing. Tom Brady in fourth, still playing. 456 touchdown passes for him. And in fifth place, Dan Marino, 420 touchdown passes. I will repeat that again because that is just incredible. Only 10 other quarterbacks in NFL history have thrown half as many touchdown passes as Peyton Manning. So I know everybody's wanting to say, oh, Tom Brady, the GOAT, greatest of all time, and he may very well be. But Peyton Manning deserves to be in that discussion too as far as quarterbacks go. The statistic alone for touchdown passes, it highlights the accuracy Peyton Manning had and he has sustained throughout his entire career. The two-time Super Bowl champion, one with the Colts, one with the Broncos, played in 4 Super Bowls, an absolute legend. Let's not forget about the fact that Peyton Manning, throughout his career, had some very poor defenses, unlike the defenses that Tom Brady had in New England. Hats off to the Sheriff. That's my no disputing fact. Let's transition now to some horse racing. The Belmont Stakes is tomorrow, the third leg of the Triple Crown. The Belmont Stakes is the oldest of the Triple Crown events. It was first run in 1867. It predates the Preakness Stakes, which was first run in 1873 by 6 years, and the Kentucky Derby, which was first run in 1875 by 8 years. Aristides, the winner of the first Kentucky Derby, ran second in the 1875 Belmont behind winner Calvin. The Belmont Stakes this year will feature a field that does not include the Kentucky Derby winner or the Preakness Stakes winner. The Kentucky Derby winner, Always Dreaming, will skip the Belmont Stakes after finishing 8th in the Preakness Stakes last weekend. Trainer Todd Pletcher says the 3-year-old colt will be pointed toward either the $600,000 Jim Dandy at Saratoga on July 29th or the $1 million Haskell Invitational at Monmouth on July 30th, according to the Daily Racing Forum. And Cloud Computing, the Preakness Stakes winner, also will skip the Belmont, which apparently had been expected. Trainer Chad Brown said that Cloud Computing is just not the right time to run in the Belmont. Will instead try and prepare for a later summer race. Brown will still have a starter in the $1.5 million Belmont Stakes race. Twisted Tom, who won the Federico Tessio on April 22nd. Because Twisted Tom wasn't already nominated to the Triple Crown Series, it will cost $75,000 to get him in the race. However, he will try to become the third gelding in history to win, and is the current favorite to win the Belmont Stakes at 15-1. Post time at 6:47 p.m. Eastern on NBC, the 149th running Belmont Stakes will still feature a very, very entertaining horse field. So, with Always Dreaming and Cloud Computing out of the Belmont Stakes, the next favorite was thought to be Classic Empire, who finished 4th behind Always Dreaming in the Derby and 2nd to Cloud Computing in the Preakness, was scratched from the field because of a bad hoof. So what does that mean? That leaves Lookin' at Lee, a surprise 2nd at Churchill Downs and 4th at Pimlico, as the only horse to run in all 3 Triple Crown races in 2017. But there are still plenty of other familiar names to watch at Belmont Park in New York City. Going off at the second best odds to win. Taprit, 6-1. Gormley, third, 7-1. J-Boys Echo at 15-1 in fourth. Hollywood Handsome, fifth at 20-1. Looking at Lee, 5-1. Irish War Cry, seventh at 3-1. I have a feeling Mr. Shane Krieger, shout out to my boy, might have Irish War Cry as one of the Win Play Show horses. 8 is Senior Investment at 10-1. 9, Meantime, 15-1. 10, Multiplier, 12-1. 11, Epicarus, 7-2. And 12, Patch, the one-eyed wonder at 15-1. Boy, what a great story that would be if Patch could win. If it were me, I would put my money on Irish War Cry and J-Boys Echo. I don't think this is the year the Belmont Stakes will see a favorite win the race. I don't see it being Twisted Tom. I like Irish War Cry and J-Boys Echo. And then I probably throw in one of those long shots like Epicarus or Patch. Check out the Belmont Stakes, everyone. Tomorrow night on NBC. Place a bet down. They're a lot of fun. Tried it for the first time for the Kentucky Derby. Won a little bit of money with Battle of Midway showing, thanks to Shane Krieger. But you don't have to bet very much. It's a lot of fun. It's such a fast race. This is the longest race out of the 3 legs for the Triple Crown at 1.5 miles. And if the weather is going to be like it's predicted, very nice late spring weather, look for a very tight race, horses in a bunch. All right, now to the last segment of today's show. We're talking some tennis, and it is the second Grand Slam event of 2017, the French Open at Roland Garros in Paris. And boy, has this been an entertaining tournament. Shout out to my boys Josh Smith and Alex Stewart, big-time tennis players, Western Kentucky University. The semis are set, and currently the first semifinal match is going on. Andy Murray taking on Stan Wawrinka in a rematch of last year's semifinals where Murray got the edge against Wawrinka. This year, looking once again like it's going to come down to the wire, Murray won the first set 7-6. Again, the match currently going on right now on the Tennis Channel. Wawrinka evened up the sets in the second, winning 6-3. Then Murray got back on top in the third set, winning at 7-5. In the fourth set, Wawrinka not going away, forcing a fifth and final set after winning the fourth set 7-6. And in the fifth set currently, winner takes the cake, goes to the finals. Wawrinka currently in game 2 is up 30-love. Can Wawrinka get that revenge and get to his 4th Grand Slam title? He has won 3 before. Murray has also won 3. The other match in the semifinals pairs a 14-time Grand Slam title man in Rafael Nadal, my favorite tennis player, the Spaniard, second all-time with 14 Grand Slam titles, tied with Pete Sampras, only behind the GOAT, Roger Federer, with 18. Going up against the young and 7th-ranked tennis player in the world, Dominic Thiem, who is still seeking his first Grand Slam title. Thiem, at the French Open, achieved his best Grand Slam result last year by advancing to the semifinals, where he fell to the world number 1 and eventual champion Novak Djokovic. You wonder where the great Novak Djokovic is. Not being in the semifinals, that's right. He was eliminated by Thiem in the quarterfinals in straight sets, 7-6, 6-3, 6-0. Novak has just not looked the same. The 6-seeded Thiem on a tear right now. Can he keep it up against the French Open man, Rafael Nadal? That match will begin very soon after this Murray-Wawrinka match ends. But Rafael Nadal looking to make some history. He's on course for his record 10th Roland Garros title. The man who dominates the clay, he is called the King of Clay, is now 102 in best-of-5 sets matches on the red dirt after advancing to a 25th major semifinal. 6-2, 2-0 retired victory over compatriot Pablo Carreno Busta. The 31-year-old looking to make some history and get his 10th title. That blows my mind. I hope to see it happen. He's looking like his old form is what he is. Now this matchup is going to not be a cakewalk for Rafa, because this 23-year-old Thiem was a semifinalist again in Paris last year, surged into the top 10, and Thiem handed Nadal his most recent defeat on clay, his only defeat on clay in 2017, and that was in the quarterfinals in Rome, 6-4, 6-3. So this Austrian knows how to play some competitive tennis, will not back down from the challenge of facing the mighty Nadal, clearly, as he defeated the defending French Open champion Novak Djokovic. Should be some very, very entertaining tennis. The French Open, absolutely worth watching, folks. Tune in on NBC right after this Murray-Wawrinka match ends to see Nadal and Thiem go at it. Well, I have gotten through a solo show. Looking forward to Rhett Hensley joining me next week on a special show where I will be on vacation in the Valley of the Sun, beautiful Phoenix, Arizona area, and will possibly have my brother, TJ Neumann, on as a guest. It'll be great to have my partner back next week. Great show this week. I really enjoyed talking some finals and horse racing and tennis. It's always a great time of the year in sports, the end of spring, start of summer. But that does it for today's podcast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget, you can now subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and have every episode available to you as soon as they are posted each week, right on your smartphone or tablet. You can also catch all of our podcasts on our website, DisputeSports.com. Follow us on Twitter at DisputeSports1, at Kyle M. Neumann, at Rhett Hensley, and like and follow our Facebook page at Dispute Sports. Until next week, remember, Dispute Sports. Anything sports, anytime, anywhere. Have a great day, and enjoy the playoffs, everyone.